All right, y'all. Welcome back to Undefining, the podcast where we break free from labels, laugh in the face of expectations, and figure it all out as we go. I'm your host, Glow Butler, and today we have a guest who is truly undefinable in the best way possible. Check it out. We have Dylan Adler here. He is a comedian, musician, and all-around powerhouse performer. If you've ever seen his stand-up, you know he brings a mix of classical music training and chaotic brilliance to the stage. He's performed on the Late Late Show with James Gordon, at the New York Comedy Festival, and basically everywhere that knows how to appreciate unhinged musical comedy genius. Today, we're diving into Dylan's journey, how his childhood identity and love for music led him to comedy, and what it means to navigate the industry as a queer Asian American performer. Plus, we've got a rapid fire round coming up, so buckle up. Dylan, how are you doing today?
I'm good. That is such a nice intro. I love you, Glow. You make me laugh so hard.
You're amazing. You're truly amazing. Oh my gosh. So how's your day going? Like, you guys don't know this, but Dylan is on West Coast time. So we're like a 3-hour difference. I'm 4 o'clock in the afternoon and he's 1 o'clock. So if you can tell by like, the happiness levels. How are you doing, Dylan? How's everything going?
Good. I woke up an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
I showered. I made myself a cunty little smoothie. I'm feeling good.
Smoothie.
Things are good.
I'm never
Yeah.
drinking a regular smoothie again. I promise.
Oh, you have to have
Wait,
yourself. Yeah.
Wait, what is it? Is it like alcohol in there? It's just like
No, it's just like some, berries, spinach, peaches, banana, and milk.
Very
Yeah.
cunty. Very
Very
cunty.
cunty,
All
yeah.
right. Well, Dylan, I wanted to just kind of dive into just a bunch of stuff with you today. But I first want to start out with your childhood, like when you were in the womb. I'm just kidding.
Totally. Oh, let me take you back.
I was like, you had to share that shit. I know that was like, I'm just kidding. You've always had to share an apartment with somebody. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Are you in an apartment by yourself though, right?
Yeah, I'm in a studio by myself, which I love.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's so much more peaceful. Like
Yes.
I don't know if you're like this. Do you like some people do like roommates, and it depends on the roommate, right? And I know you and Sam have like a whole series and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And Sam is unique. That Sam is one of a kind. That's something that,
Yes.
like that's not just anybody, right?
Exactly.
So I just feel like you kind of that's one of those. How is it living with Sam? That's weird. Asking about somebody else.
No, I loved living with Sam. He was my favorite roommate I ever had. We just I just loved it because we I don't know, we talked shit together. We sometimes we'd have like a bad set. It's like, oh my God. And then or just we were able to talk at night, which was nice. And then we had our own spaces. We had our own rooms where we could do our own shit when we needed. So
I love that.
he was a great
I love
roommate.
that. And it also people that's the best part, is having roommates that you can it's just the energy's there. I haven't had any of that. Like, I moved in with my partner a couple years ago, and so
congrats.
thank you. That's been the only normal living situation.
Yes.
And even then, I take some getting used to. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know how, once you're out of it, it's like, I don't know how people do it anymore. It's just, but you got to have that one. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that. I'll have Sam on the show if I want. Me and Sam will connect soon, but Sam is an awesome person.
He's
And
great.
I'm
going to see him literally after this.
Oh my God, tell him I said hi, please.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Sam.
All right, but let's get started from the beginning. What kind of kid were you? Where were you always performing?
Yeah.
Where did this
no.
Dylan Adler come from?
Oh, absolutely. I came out the womb already doing musical comedy and just kind of being crazy. No, me and my brother we love to perform. We're very theatrical and we put on shows and stuff. And so as kids, I think, compared to him, I was actually shy. I was a little bit, we were twin brothers, but he was a little more the older brother leader, and I would follow his lead. But, we would do shows together. We had our own little language, and we had all the same friends. And so we were just two little flamboyant kids.
That is really cute. That is
Yeah.
really cute. I would have been you guys. I feel like if I would have gone to school with you, I would have wanted to be like your best friends
We
or
would
like.
have wanted to be your friend, Glow, I swear. We would have been
Thank you.
friends. We would have
Oh my
been
God!
friends.
Let's rewind our past and
Let's
just like
rewind. It would have been fun.
it would have our age. I think we have a huge age gap. I think I'm much older than you, Dylan. Unfortunately.
Yeah. No, but we
No,
had a
but
best friend in elementary school that we both had a crush on.
oh
Her name
really?
was Kamaya. We both like had a crush on her. She was
Oh,
like,
that's so
I
cute.
know. So it was interesting. She like had to choose between us, and we were like, who's she gonna choose? So it was
Was this like
very.
y'all's first fight? Like, was that like a over
No, it
like
was just
somebody?
kind of it was dramatic and extra, but we fought over stupid shit. But yeah,
Right, right. No,
yeah.
that's so. I always wonder like what that life. I've always wanted a twin. I think everybody always wants a twin.
Yeah,
And just that you're born with a best friend, and that's amazing.
yeah, yeah.
But then you guys are like you guys are all both into theater and both into like music and just it's
Yeah.
amazing. You're all around. Like your parents did a great job. Like making you.
No,
You did.
we're lucky that they let us because like I don't know, a lot of parents don't let their kids like pursue their interest in music, but we were lucky that like our parents were like, yes, it's like let us like do the arts and not just for like an extracurricular.
Yeah, yeah, let you like, and that I think that's the part I wish I had is like, but my parents put me in like all these like cheerleading and I did softball
Mm-hmm.
and all this
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but it wasn't consistent because my mom was like, okay, at some point you need to focus on grades. You know what I mean? So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
everybody thought I was shy, and I'm like, I'm not.
No,
But
no,
you don't
Glow,
have
you are
anything that
not
brings that.
shy.
I am
I
not
get that. I get
shy.
that. I
You know
get
what I
that.
mean? Oh,
Yeah.
like I was like, I'm just not comfortable around you.
That's
But
it. That's it.
no shade.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you have a classical music background, right?
Yes, yes, I do.
What was your relationship with music growing up, and did you ever think it would be part of your comedy career?
Yeah, no, I grew up like playing piano and like classical piano and stuff. And I like then when I went to school I wanted to like be a composer, music film scoring, like John Williams,
Mm-hmm.
Hans Zimmer, some of my
Mm-hmm.
like composing heroes. And then I really fell in love with like musical theater and did that. And I never thought like I would do comedy, but
Yeah.
I fell in love with it, discovered it like during my like later years in college, and I didn't think I would like combine it, but when I did combine it,
Mm-hmm.
it was when I was at open mics, it was like people would remember, oh yeah, you did the song. I remember the
Yeah.
song, that was good. People didn't remember any jokes that I ever did, so I was like, oh maybe I
Yeah.
should double down on this.
Yeah. Because there's a lot. I would say that I don't. I know if you, I know comedians that have um, introduced comedy, but not in the way that I've seen you deliver. I think that I first saw you like on a piano
Mm-hmm.
at like the show. There was a show. What
Yes.
is that at
Oh my
I
gosh,
forget the
at Pete's
spot.
Candy Store?
At I don't think it was Pete's Candy Store. It was the other one that you were doing. Like I said, they didn't have a DJ, but they had Pam and they hosted a
Oh,
show over there
yes,
at
of course. Kendall and
Kendall
Pam.
and Pam. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they had and
Yes,
you were
just
doing like some
come.
piano stuff. Just come, yeah.
Totally, totally.
And
Yeah, that was fun.
I remember that, and then I think I met you like maybe before I saw you
Yes.
there.
That's right.
But
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's right.
but it was unique. It was something I didn't
Mm-hmm.
see before, and not just that, but you have an awesome personality. I don't know if anybody's ever told you that,
Oh,
but
stop
you
it.
just. I hope somebody has in this. But
You
I would be
too.
like, I would be pissed off at the world if they haven't told you yet, Dylan.
It's like everyone says I'm a bitch.
Really? You don't really know
No.
me, Chloe. But yeah, I just found that like your style, and especially with like the whole Hamilton, reference. Like, I didn't even know Hamilton. Like that's how much of a lesbian I am. Because I don't think like I think the
That's
gay
hilarious.
guys are into like the
The theater,
musical
of
the musical
course.
theater, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
I'm
yes.
trying to like it, but I was like, I only like it if Dylan's doing like Hamilton,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So was it like as a kid, like you're just like that was your style, and then like what point I guess in comedy where you're just like I'm just gonna pull out the piano and see what I want to do with this. Like
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
when did that part like where you were just because stand up is so blah. is blah. Like when it comes down to it, it's entertaining. It's great. There's lots of great comedians. I'm not
Uh-huh.
shading any of that. I'm a great comedian.
Yes, it's
But
true. It's
I,
true.
but I would say that when you see all these comedians that are so that's not they're not really. I wouldn't say they're not stepping out of the box, but they don't have that. Maybe they don't carry that gift of like music and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like, what was that period where you're just like, hey, this is? I know you were mentioning that like you eventually like just started doing that, but like, what was that
Hmm.
period where you're just like, hey, I just want to? Was that like, were you when you started doing stand up? Was that something where you're just like, hey, well, I need everybody to see like all parts of me. You know what I mean? Like, I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was I was doing stand up for like 6 months, just open mics, and
Mm-hmm.
I was I was enjoying it. I liked it, but I remember I was like one night I was like I wrote something on the song, and it was at the Creek in the Cave had a piano
Mm-hmm.
downstairs
Oh,
that
okay.
semi worked. I think half the keys didn't work, but the keys that did
I
work
remember
I could
that.
play.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what? I'll just try this song and see how it goes. Just to like trying music for the first time. I was like just doing open mics,
Right.
and then like I wrote one song. I was like, oh, let me try it at the Creek in the Cave, and it got like a bigger response than like any of my jokes ever did. And I was
Oh,
like, maybe I'll like do like
do.
start trying to do more. And then like when I would do the songs, people would like remember it way more than like the jokes. So I think it was like kind of like starting to write more and more and more and more songs. And so
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of how I
Yeah.
ventured into it.
I love it. And when did you decide like to start doing comedy? Like, and what triggered
Hmm.
that? Trigger in a bad. I feel like trigger can be used several different ways.
No, trigger in
But
a bad way.
when,
It's
right? Exactly. When did it click? That's what I mean by that. When did it click where
yes,
you were just
yes,
like,
yes.
hey, I want to do stand up. Like, this is. I feel like I need to do something different.
Yeah, no. So I was taking in college. I There was like an elective acting class for one semester that I did, and there was an improv element that was so much fun, and I loved it. And some
Mm-hmm.
people from the class were like, "Hey, there's like an improv jam at the People's Improv Theater tonight. If anyone wants to
Mm-hmm.
join." So me
Mm-hmm.
and these couple other students went, loved it. It was so much fun, and
Mm-hmm.
I like met other people, other friends there, and then like we became like friends that would always go to like these improv jams together. Like my really good friend Xavier Pearson, like we were just like improv buddies, and then we were like, let's do our open mic, let's write stuff for an open mic. And so then we'd go to open mics together, and then that's how I kind of caught the bug and got addicted.
Oh, nice. I love it. Yeah, it's definitely a drug. It's a severe
100%.
drug.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And the best I think the best part is the connections with just people. I think that's what draws you in first
For
because it's
sure.
almost like it's such a hard it's not easy. And
Hmm.
people really do. I know that there are people that see you now and they're just like, oh my god, like that's so amazing, but they don't realize like how much work how many how many open mics filled with comedians, how many
Oh, oh
empty
yeah.
rooms, how many things that
Performing for one person, for two people, paying $10 to perform for your literal friend, which I did.
right.
Yeah.
Oh god.
We paid
that is
$10 to do 5 minutes for each other.
that is
It was
insane.
crazy.
I literally there came a point where I was like, enough is enough. I can't do this. Like mentally, I think I just because I go home and I quit comedy, and then by the time I have a show again, I'm back again. But
Yes, yes, yes,
but
yes.
yeah, people don't get a chance to see that and understand that there's a
Yeah,
lonely dark side of this, but it's also
for
fun
sure.
because I think we trauma bond. We bond through it all,
It
right?
is definite trauma bonding.
Right, exactly. So let me see
Yeah.
here. Okay, so your comedy blends music, personal storytelling, and identity in such a unique way. How did you develop that style?
Yeah, I think it was through trial and error, seeing like what I wanted to talk about, and then like what met with like what audiences seemed kind of like interested in. And so I think that I tried to, because there's like a mix of songs, like personal stories, songs about that. So I think like through trial and error, trying to figure out the best way to combine
Mm-hmm.
that into like a cohesive set.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a
Yeah,
lot of experimenting with that because it's kind of
totally,
like you
totally.
gotta you're like, you know what, ball it up, throw it out. I don't want that.
Oh,
Or
exactly.
it could be it's a lot of times things just need time. Like
Oh,
a lot of times
100%.
it's not about throwing away the joke. It's about being able to just have some patience with it and maybe come back.
1000%. That's my favorite thing when a premise that never works, I'm like, oh, oh, if I do it this way, then it
Yeah.
clicks, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's so much better that way. Or like thoughts revisit me as long as I don't abandon it. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly, exactly.
because I feel like now, we find ourselves in rooms where we're all speaking about the same topic. That's
Hmm.
one thing that I low key die on the inside when I know that like the lineup is filled with the same thing. Not the jokes. I'm not worried about the jokes. I'm
Yes.
thinking like just oh, you want to talk about what if you had a kid too? So
Yes, yes, yes,
it gets
yes.
interesting, but I can't knock anybody because great minds think alike. And honestly,
Exactly.
that's just like when jokes were, hey, you walk into a bar and somebody followed it
Exactly.
by something else.
No,
Okay,
1000% true.
but what has been some of the biggest challenges you faced as a queer Asian American comedian in the
Hmm.
industry?
Yeah, no,
What's the tea?
the tea. Oh, let's talk. No, I mean, I I think definitely every like moment and stage and day comes with its own set of challenges
Right.
and stuff. And I think that, I think there's definitely a time where for me I was like, worried about just like the just money and making money, and I was
Right.
afraid of like moving back home when I was in New York because I was like, I was walking dogs, I was teaching piano, I was accompanying for money, and then like the pandemic happened. I was like, oh shit, how is that? How am I gonna go day to day? And then able to like scrape by eventually, and then like I did move home during the pandemic, but then like was able to come back for a little bit of time from
Mm-hmm.
saved up stuff. So I think that was definitely um a struggle, but I think at first it was like finding the space where it felt like I could like say like where I don't know, where people didn't just shut down because of the way I talked or the things I was talking about. Because there are certain
Yeah.
like spaces I would like just say my jokes, and I'm like, this audience isn't even gonna give me a chance. Like
Right.
I'm starting at a deficit.
Yeah.
So I think it was like finding the spaces, finding the community
Mm-hmm.
that I really felt accepted and seen by when it came to the comedy community. So I think that was definitely like a struggle point for sure.
Yeah, definitely being able to, have a sense of identity within the community and not feel because there's ways of like, yes, we know there are gay comedians, we know there are Asian comedians, we know that there's at this point there's everybody, out there,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
the only thing that I wanted to always stray away from is being like either the token thing. You know what I mean? I
Yes,
wanted everybody. I
exactly.
want people who look like me or people who are like me to still get these type of experiences and stuff. So,
1000%.
I think that even like your background alone and being Jewish as well, right? Or
Hmm.
your
Yeah,
father's
half.
Jewish, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
half Jewish, yeah. I think that that's also very unique. Like, you know what I mean? Like these
Hmm.
are things about ourselves that just make us so special, and we don't maybe
Totally.
like as a kid. Did you ever struggle with that like as a child, like as far as like identity goes, or did you like because then I don't know when you knew you were like quit gay or whatever, but like
Yeah,
I know there are a lot
no.
of things to
No, 1000%. Oh yeah, there was a lot going on, and I also will say the show, every show that you do and the show that you build such a good sense of that community and that
Yeah,
energy in your shows. It just radiates. So I am
yeah.
so grateful for the shows that you do and like the energy that you put out in
Of
like your
course,
stand up
yeah.
for sure.
It's one of those things where as much fun as it is it can be challenging too, because I feel
Yeah.
like, and I say this with like so much love, but I'm like, all of the like the BIPOC comedians that are coming on my show are getting famous, and they're like, and like everybody else, not that it is
Hmm.
like there's people to book and always great comedians out there,
Hmm.
but I think that the number within the community that we are aware of and we know is not as high as we think it is. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because
Oh,
I say this like when,
100%.
yeah, yeah,
No, and
when
it's like
comedians,
that was totally, totally. I remember I just like in the sometimes the even like within the queer circle, I was
yeah,
like I would sometimes feel frustrated. I'm like, this is like an all white lineup. This is just like all
yeah,
white gay guys on a
yeah.
show. And it was just like, but like I totally hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, that it's just it's interesting. I'm seeing more and more people now and people getting the courage to do stand up and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's great.
It is different. Comedians now are that are coming out onto the scene are a lot different. They have different. I think comedy changes every year. As far as like
Hmm.
the community, the scene,
Totally.
everything changes. The places you perform changes. So it's
Yeah,
always like different. Like I would just say like from the time I met you to now, like I would say that like it's changed a lot. But it's
totally.
always fun to still connect with you and to still continue to I also with a lot of comedians, whether it's what is it? I have Sabrina Wu on here coming up
Oh,
too,
love
and
them.
and I'm just like, there's so many people that are there. Pat Brown is another one that like
Oh
they are so
yeah.
busy with their lives, and they're just like, girl, if you don't just talk to me.
Yeah,
but I
yes.
but I love that, and it's not that I'm expecting you guys to be any other way, but I just feel like the scene has been different, so it's always refreshing, and it's just a
Hmm.
reminder of like why you're here, why you're doing this, and just connecting to
Totally.
other like-minded comedians. You know what I mean? Um,
1000%.
so right now you're killing it with shows, festivals, and TV appearances. What's something you're working on or excited about next? Do you have anything that
Oh,
you're just like, ooh, I have a good idea?
yeah, no, I am gonna go to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
You are,
Um,
yes.
yeah, which I'm so excited. I've never been. I'd
Hmm.
never been out the country before this year, and so I'm
Nice.
so excited to
That
just
is cool.
experience it, just to see Edinburgh. I've heard it's like a gorgeous city, and
Yeah, same.
so just trying to work towards like making a cohesive hour because I have a
Yeah.
lot of I have like experience doing like a 10-minute set on a show, 10-minute set, which is like
Hmm.
great for like developing material, but I don't really have like I really am still like working on the making a cohesive arc of an hour. So I'm excited to
Yeah.
work
It's
on
good.
that.
It's I would be front row at that when you say like 1 hour.
Come,
It's
come,
Yeah.
come.
I think anybody's 1 hour. That's not, it's one of those things where like you have so many jokes and have so many different routines and ways of building a 1 hour, but it's just like when it comes down to building 1 hour, I'm not thinking about those jokes that I've already written, that I could like
Yeah,
put into this 1 hour. I've done a 1 hour
totally.
before, and it's
Hmm.
definitely a lot different. Um,
Hmm.
but I think yours is going to be different because you have like you have there's so many different reasons to be engaged in it, like with the music, with the comedy, with the funnies, and it's
Oh,
just going to be
thank you.
amazing. So when that time comes, it's going to be incredible. But yeah, I
Thank
heard,
you.
is it pronounced Edinburgh?
I
Is
think yeah, Edinburgh. Edinburgh. Yeah, I
Edinburgh?
think
Oh,
so.
Edinburgh. So I've been doing it all wrong. I would
No,
say
I thought
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. I was like Edinburgh. I thought it was Edinburgh for the longest time too. And so someone was like, "Don't you mean Edinburgh?" I'm like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah,
Edinburgh."
yeah. So you said you haven't been outside of the country before
No,
this.
never until
How
this
are you like a kid?
year.
Are you like a kid in a candy store? Like
It
what's the
was
feeling? Like what's it
it
like?
was life changing. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, America is terrible." It's
Yeah,
like
it's so much nicer outside of this country. I swear to you,
it
God, it really is.
is. Oh
Yeah.
man. And so it was like so refreshing to like experience different energies and like, different cultures. And I'd really never
Hmm.
um seen like just even the architecture alone, just the energy of the people, how they interact with each other, their work ethic, their like
Yeah.
work-life balance. It's like so
Hmm.
I mean, I really, really loved experiencing that.
That's good. Yeah, my first trip out, it was a couple years ago, and it was 2019, right before everything shut down. I went to
Hmm.
Norway, and that was
Oslo?
already, huh?
Did you
Oslo?
go to Oslo?
I did not go to Oslo. I filmed a commercial for Western Norway. It's for like solo
Oh, fuck
traveling and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh, dope.
Amazing. So that was my first really really big gig like that, like outside of the country. Like I've gone to like a
That
different
is
state to perform and
awesome.
yeah, oh, it was so much fun. And the thing about it is like the I'm not saying this honestly, I'm not saying this in a negative way because it's Norway and there's a lot of like white people in Norway, but they're like the
Hmm.
Norway was like the first country to what was it? They were the first to legalize gay marriage,
Wow.
gay relationships. Yeah, like even their prime minister, which is funny, their prime minister I guess had to sit down with like I don't know, it was like Putin or some annoying political person. But
Yeah.
basically, he sat down with them, and when he brought his partner just to piss him off. No, what is the dude that was? See, this is how my
Oh,
memory
I
is bad.
love that.
What is the dude that was vice president for Trump the first term? That
Oh,
guy.
oh, Mike Pence, Mike Pence.
Mike Pence, yes, Putin Pence. What's the difference? But I'm just kidding. But but I would just say, I would just say that they intentionally bought his partner and
I love
their new
that.
child
Oh, I
just to
love
like
that.
piss them
That's
off,
good.
right?
That is good.
I thought that's
Fuck yes,
amazing.
Norway.
But when you go there, it's like I went to was it Strand is Strangeer or something like that. But Western Norway is really
Okay.
nice. It's more like surrounded by like the fjords and like bodies of water. Like
Mm.
you got to take a boat to
Oh,
go everywhere.
beautiful.
But
Oh, nice.
it was one of those things where like the black people that I did see, they were either like I don't know if they were like adopted or something. They were like I saw like
Mm-hmm.
some kids that were like with families and stuff, and then or
Mm-hmm.
like there was one guy in a grocery store that saw me. I was in there to grab some lotion, and they don't
Mm-hmm.
really their lotion. They just have like one kind of lotion, and like it's like a
Uh-huh.
CVS store, one kind of
Yeah.
lotion, but the lotion is like the most amazing lotion I've used in my life. And this
Really?
is yes because I have dry skin, and I'm like
Uh-huh.
how the usually I wasn't expecting that, but like I saw a black guy in the grocery store, and we both just made eye contact because you
Uh-huh.
just don't see black people that often. Like you can see them, but
Totally,
you know,
totally.
and the culture, the community, everything is so nice, so wonderful, and they're
Yeah.
amazing over there. And I would highly recommend if you get the opportunity to go visit. Have you been to Oslo? Or are you considering it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oslo, we went there and it was one of my favorite cities I ever went to.
it
It
is
was gorgeous.
beautiful.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Pretty much the whole production crew is from Oslo or they live in
Oh,
Oslo. But yeah, it's all of Norway. If you get the opportunity to go, like it's all perfect. It's all
it's
perfect.
gorgeous in the
You
trains.
know,
I love that everyone uses trains for
they
transportation.
have. See, I wasn't on that part of the. See, I
Uh-huh.
was where you have to either drive or go by boat. To every. But I
wow.
want to visit Oslo. Oslo has like I want to go because Norway is amazing for like during Christmas time. They like do the whole North
Oh,
Pole thing.
oh, I want to
It's
imagine.
we
Yeah.
can talk about this all day. I'm sorry.
Me too. Me
so
too.
Dylan, this kind of like I just kind of wanted to dive into your life, your career, and
Hmm.
just kind of like what brought you through comedy, and we touched all those
Totally.
things. I think that which is most important. But one thing that I do want to ask is, what would you say if you could? If you could, like, this would be kind of creepy if you could, but what would you say to your younger self?
Yes. Oh
Here, I'll do an
man.
impression of you. Hi, I'm little Dylan. Hi, little Dylan. How are you?
Oh, okay, I sound crazy.
Oh wait. Let me do it. Let me start over because I didn't touch the Dylan. All right, let's do it. Let me change. All right. It's like, hi, Dylan. What's going on?
Oh my
Sorry, did I
gosh,
do
I
it
feel
right?
like
That's
no, that's
terrible.
me. I'm looking at a mirror. That's how I wake up.
Sorry,
Hello! That's how I
I'm
wake up.
embarrassed. But
That's
yeah,
how I wake up.
so
Oh my
I imagine
God.
that in my head sometimes. I'm like, I bet Dylan like wakes up like this, but like just on
Oh,
a
not far from
just.
the truth. It's not, yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You're a morning
No,
person
no,
like that? Oh, okay.
no.
Okay.
I'm a night owl.
Okay, gotcha. So you're like, you
Um,
won't even see me in the morning.
yeah,
But yeah, your younger self.
yeah, yeah, yeah. My younger self, I think I would say, like to my kid self, or like starting comedy self.
No, yeah, no, your kid self. Like
Kid
this is the
self, I would.
person pre like comedy and all that stuff as you,
Oh, I love
you
that.
know.
Yeah, I would say, uh, I would actually say, this come out as soon as you can because,
Ooh. Hmm.
that's where your life begins, and like life definitely got better after that.
Mm.
And I would be like, bitch, stop fighting so much with your brother.
Ooh.
That's your best friend. So
Yeah.
stop picking fights with him. Just it's stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Because I think that like there are things that when we're younger we're just worried about. And we're worried about the wrong things and it's more of just like
Totally.
and a lot of times like we're worried about like our families, our the friends accepting us, our siblings accepting us and being
Yeah.
for who we are and that yes coming out and stuff like that but just for who we are all around like these are the things that I
Exactly.
like and I want to do and I just and it's
Hmm.
like you have to come out for everything you know what I mean you have to come out for being
Hmm.
gay you have to come out for being like a musical theater person you have to come out for
Yeah.
being doing you know and this is why your parents are like
Exactly.
when are you gonna get paid to do all this stuff you know paid to
Exactly.
be gay let's do it
Yeah. Come out as a
um
struggling creative bitch, you
Right.
know? Yeah.
Exactly. But that kind of wraps up what I wanted to do as far as like questions and all that fun stuff. But I did want to play a
Hmm.
game. Are you ready for a game?
Why, yes.
If you said no, I would have been like, okay, I just want to. All right, so I'm kind of technically talking to the listeners now, uh, but because I've already kind of explained these rules to Dylan, but so that
Hmm.
all of you all know, we're gonna play a rapid fire game now. It's very quick. Dylan doesn't have a lot of time to think. He can't barely can even use his brain. Like even I told him
Mm.
like even just a piece an inch of a brain if you have if
Hmm.
that matters. Like that's the only
Yeah.
thing you can use right now, right? And
Perfect.
I will know.
Perfect.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All
And
right,
I
so
never even use my brain at all. So it's
oh,
just
oh, you're an
perfect.
expert. Great. Okay, cool. So, so all right. So Dylan is we're gonna play with a game with I'm gonna play a game with Dylan. It's called Piano Punchline or Panic. All right. So I'm gonna give Dylan a situation, and he has to tell me whether he would turn it into dramatic. Piano ballad. Can I not talk today? A dramatic piano ballad. Make a joke out of it, or like straight up panic. So it's gonna be dramatic piano ballad, making a joke out of it, or straight up panic. And I'll say these over, just in case you forget like what order they go in.
Perfect.
So there's no explanations. It's just whatever. So the first one is you show up to a gig and there's no piano. All right. So would you turn it into a dramatic piano ballad, make a joke out of it, or straight up panic?
Punchline. Make a joke. Yeah. Try to
Oh,
make a joke.
you have to,
Yeah,
because it's
yeah,
like, why'd you
yeah.
book me?
Exactly. I would have
Right?
to play it off
Like,
somehow.
that's no instruments. Like, I just had to beat my chest. Let's see here. So, all right. So, someone heckles you by shouting a deeply personal fact about your life. Dramatic piano ballad, make a joke, or straight up panic.
I would say panic and then try to do a punchline if
Try not to make it
possible.
obvious that it's true, right?
Yeah. Inside panic, outside punchline attempt.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. He would get
Yeah.
it. His feelings would be hurt. I feel like you would knock him dead.
Uh,
Um, all right. So you accidentally text something embarrassing to the wrong person.
Ooh. Oh, piano ballad. I don't know.
Piano ballad. I
Yeah.
love that. That's a good way to like heal from it.
Yeah, heal from that trauma.
Yeah, because I don't think sometimes I feel like people were meant to know, and then but at this and the universe just kind of guided it this way and
Oh
used
yeah.
you.
No, sometimes the universe knows better than you and you're like, this is how it's meant to be.
Exactly. Exactly.
Something, yeah.
It's like no, this is what you should do. This is what we want you to do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so you have to do a comedy show at a child's birthday party.
Panic.
Yeah, yeah.
What material do I have? I have 30 seconds of material that I can do.
Just like, I'll take any questions and we'll just do the. Let's see
I'll
here.
just crowd work. So
Right.
what do you do? Yeah.
Let's see here. You meet your comedy idol and they don't know who you are.
Oh, I'd say just piano ballad. If it's okay if my
Mm,
comedy idol doesn't know who I am.
it's isn't wasn't it, that can that's a possibility that can happen. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
1000% for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we have three more. All right,
Hmm.
so you get booked for a corporate gig and they ask you to keep it clean.
Panic punchline. I'm panicking. I have 40 seconds of material.
Yeah.
I might have to just roast the boss.
Yes, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I think that's what you should always do. I think when it comes to corporate gigs, it's the best part is just don't expect anything because
Oh yeah.
they're not like sometimes there might not be any alcohol for people to just kind of loosen up a bit.
Oh yeah, and
And
they're forced to be there and they're around
yeah,
their coworkers who some of them hate, you know?
yeah,
They're
yeah.
it's like a
It's an
tense
awkward
situation.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So your microphone cuts out mid set and you have to keep going. I feel like this has happened to all of
Oh,
us at
yeah,
least once. Yeah.
totally.
So I
I
want you
would
to tell.
say punchline and project. Uh,
Punchline and exactly. Yell
project.
that shit.
Yell,
Let's
scream
see.
at them,
Exactly.
you
It's
know?
just like where you're just gonna get all my spit in your face. Um,
Exactly.
let's see here. So the last one is a TikTok of yours blows up, but for a completely weird reason. Oh God, I feel like that
Oh, I
happens a
know.
lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say piano. You're
Piano
probably
ballad.
going to get some crazy DMs and it's going to take a toll on you mentally. So just play it out, girl. That's
I
me.
facts. It's just kind there. See, a lot of these things are just like I like you because you like these are just out of my control. So I'm just gonna pick two. 'Cause you were like, because you know, I said one or the other, but you're like, you know what, this deserves a panic and
Oh, yeah. No, it
just so you know
deserves
what I'm feeling on the
multiple
inside.
emotional
Right?
responses. Exactly.
Oh my goodness. So Dylan, that wraps up this episode for today. I just want you to if you don't mind, we'll just use this time to share anything that you have either coming up or where can people find you
Oh,
when
yes.
you know what I mean? Like we want to be
No,
able to follow you, stalk you, all that fun stuff.
absolutely. Thank you so much, Glow.
Of
You can
course.
follow me on Instagram at Dylan Adler underscore, TikTok at Dylan Adler 7, and I'm doing a show at the UCB in LA.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. So if you're
Yes.
in LA, which I know a bunch of people who are in LA to carry your butts to Dylan's show because he is
Mm-hmm.
freaking hilarious, you will leave pissing your pants and probably shitting yourself. That sounds pretty accurate, right?
Oh, I'd say so.
What
Yeah.
if they come out after the show? They're like, I didn't shit.
I didn't shit. I will Venmo you. I will Venmo you if you
It's
don't
like, I'm
shit, and
so
I
sorry.
sincerely apologize.
Right.
It's,
That you didn't, where you weren't able to release your
we weren't
bowels.
able to do that
Um,
for
but
you.
Dylan, this has been a pleasure. I've had a wonderful
Oh,
time
I
chatting
had
with
such a
you.
good time catching up
Yeah,
with you. I
yeah.
fucking love you, Glow.
I love you more. Oh my God, this is fantastic.
This is great.
All right, y'all, give it up one more time for Dylan Adler. Dylan Adler is one of my favorite people in comedy. Thank you so much for joining us on Undefining, Dylan. He was fantastic, great energy. If you loved this episode, make sure to subscribe, follow, and share with a friend. New episodes drop every Thursday on YouTube and Spotify, so don't miss it. And speaking of that, make sure you're following us. You can catch every episode on YouTube and Spotify at Undefining the Pod, and follow us on Instagram at Undefining Podcast for updates. All right, until next time, keep breaking rules, redefining yourself, and remember, you don't have to fit into anyone's box but your own. See you next time.
Undefining.